Hear my one-word review through the pwomp.
Yeah.
Really? So you have
Right.
nothing else to say about it?
Let's hit record. Let's hit stream.
Let's hit stream.
Let's have our seats and sit down and enjoy a nice little show here.
This is exciting.
And
This is exciting.
Hey, what happened to my trailer? Oh, there it is. Hello, everybody.
And hello, everybody. Once again, are we in a darkened man cave?
We're in
A semi.
Meltdown Comics above the Nerdist Theater.
Which is probably as close to a darkened man cave as we can get.
Yeah. This is where geeks live. This is heaven for geeks. Meltdown Comics, middle of Hollywood, 10,000 square feet.
Yes.
You know, they just celebrated their 21st anniversary.
Those fellows are excellent. Excellent fellows.
And the fact that, you know, Midnight started here.
At midnight.
At midnight with
Yes.
Chris Hardwick. Nerdist started here.
Mhm.
They've got their whole podcast studio over there.
The whole experience of being part of the Meltdown family is very much like being with a family because, you know, there are a couple of brothers who run this outfit. It's a real mom and pop business, is it not?
It is.
The genuine article, when they say support your local businesses, your local mom and pop business, come to Los Angeles, buy your comic books here at Meltdown Comics. This is an excellent place to be.
Well,
and they host us every week. They're so kind to
yeah,
us.
they're generous
very
with,
nice,
with
very
their
kind
space
to
up
us.
here in
Yes.
the torn attic. But if you're just joining us for the first time, my name's Justin. This is Cliff Broadway.
Hello.
We do a live show every Tuesday at
Yes.
5 p.m. Pacific at theonering.net/live.
Mhm.
And you know, we were on Stickam for a couple years, and then we were on Justin TV for a couple years, and they both of those
For
companies
a couple of years. We were on Justin TV for a couple of months, to be more accurate.
but these have now gone away.
Yes.
We sometimes experiment on Ustream, and
Yes.
YouTube has just updated all of their live streaming stuff. They've got a chat room here on YouTube, and it's pretty exciting. So
It is very exciting
we're
to be. Well, it's exciting to be live. We're so happy to be live. It's so much better than being dead. As it turns out, that's a crusty old joke, and I'm still using it. I can't believe it.
oh dear.
Are we ready for a frame-by-frame trailer analysis?
You know, this is the last Hobbit trailer.
Yes.
This is
yes.
like one last time. You know, we've done frame by frame analysis of every trailer since 2000, the year 2000 in December. We had our first preview of The Lord of the Rings, and it wasn't really a trailer, it was kind of a behind the scenes thing, and
Yes.
and the one, all the streaming video and stuff like that, before YouTube was even a hint of existence, we took screenshots, and they were this big.
Yes,
and we
they
did
were.
a frame by frame analysis,
Well,
and ever since then,
Back then, the tiny little trailer, for that preview trailer for the Fellowship of the Ring, was just a little thing on QuickTime, and that was the highest quality image we got.
yeah,
Was this little
glorious QuickTime.
It was
3.
200 by 300, I think, pixels across. It was such a small thing,
Yes.
but we were so excited to have it.
So we've come a long way, and it's really exciting.
It's
So
also like closing a major chapter in the life of fandom.
this is the last Middle Earth trailer for the foreseeable future.
It is the last Middle-earth film, definitely from Peter Jackson and his
Never
great...
say definitely. He said he would never do The Hobbit, and through circumstance
Well.
and happenstance.
yeah, true.
He was
But-
trying to be the wizard, pushing Guillermo del out the door, and
yes.
and
Yes.
and you know, things happen.
But we
so.
could also say that this is the last with the existing license, with the existing books that are licensed. We're in Hobbit territory now, but lots and lots of extra stuff that Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh and Philippa Boyens have put into the story from the appendices of The Lord of the Rings. And that's why we see Saruman in this great shot that he has. Oh, we're going to get to it. So exciting to see Christopher Lee back in these Hobbit films. He's my very favorite actor.
And supposedly this is the most he's ever been in any of the Middle Earth films. Like, he has a significant scene.
Well, he would say that because his crucial 13 minutes of character were cut from The Return of the King entirely. And that was almost a quarter of an hour of his character cut from the film.
Yes.
Right out of Return of the King. Thank God it was put back inside the extended edition of Return of the King. Now,
The defining chapter, as people are pointing out in the chat room. So, you know, we've got a lot of shots in this trailer.
Oh,
I'd say
cool.
let's just jump in
Yeah,
and let's do this. So here we are. This is, of course, the logo screen. This harkens back to the first Hobbit trailer in 2011.
Oh, yes.
This was a full year before the first Hobbit movie, and they had contractually obligated to have all three logos at the same exact size, and here we are with a new golden tint. And if you're just joining us, you can text us at the phone number on your screen, 530-64-FRODO. Yes, that's really our number. Here is our first shot of Thorin. Now, this is pretty
yes.
amazing. Now, we have seen this trailer in 24 frames on YouTube. We've seen it in a theater, 24 frames, attached to Interstellar. It's not on 70 millimeter Interstellar. It's only on digital. So if you see it in digital IMAX or digital theaters, you'll see the Hobbit trailer. And then you'll also see, if you have an Oculus Rift or some 3D goggles, you can go to the YouTube and watch this trailer on the Warner Brothers YouTube channel in 3D. Also, some fans have actually imported this trailer and created a high frame rate, high definition 1080p 60 frames per second smooth version. It's just like watching HFR in the theater.
How nice.
Without the 3D, just smooth HFR. And I gotta tell you, this trailer looks even better in HFR.
Yes.
Like, this trailer sold me on HFR, and I'm probably going to mention it on a few scenes, but this one especially, like the smoothness of the flames, just look fantastic. So anyway, let's jump in. Let's jump back into it. So we've got Thorin separated from his group. Obviously, there's Bilbo. Looks like we've got a glowing. It looks like Ori. I don't think this is when Feely and Keely.
No, they're not there yet.
They're not yet. So this must be way early in the film.
The Esgaroth Four, as the other actors called themselves, cannot be there. That would remove Owen and Keely and Feely and Boffer. So who do you think you see? Do you see
is that James Nesbitt?
No, he can't be there.
He can't be there. He's
passed out drunk under a table in Lake Town. He's not there.
This is Star-Lord.
You mean
Jed Brophy?
Jed Brophy with his starfish head?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's Jed Brophy, but it may be.
That might be Bomber up front.
It may be Mark Hadlow, who plays Dory.
Yes.
It might be Dory and Ori. That would be Mark Hadlow, Adam Brown. And it may be William Kircher, our boy Biffer, who's got that axe in his forehead.
You know, one thing I wonder. The one thing I have to say about this whole scene, we have this huge glow in the background here. This, you know, having the huge fire-breathing melee of the end of Desolation of Smaug, the last 40 minutes, you know, with this huge battle, actually has set up Erebor for success now, because all these lanterns and lights now have a reason to be lit. Basically, Smaug just lit up every lantern in the entire...
No, he lit up the furnaces only.
No, he was fire-breathing in this gold pile.
Yes, he was fire-breathing everywhere, but we didn't see any other lights lit.
But it technically, in the movie world, there's reason for these to be lit. Because the dragon was fire-breathing everywhere.
That's a bit of a stretch, but I'll take it.
Oh.
I'll take it. Wow.
So, of course, the first full screen character we have is our Hobbit. You can't have a Hobbit movie without a Hobbit.
Is this where Bilbo has just put on his mithril coat?
I don't think there's any mithril in
I
there.
think this is a mithril conversation. Look behind. Nothing but armory. They might be in one of the old armory rooms of Erebor.
He's not wearing anything shiny.
It is sparkling. Look very closely.
No, that's the sparkle of this.
Well, I don't think that is his usual blue coat with the furry ruffle that he got from Lake Town.
I think
he's wearing mithril in that shot, very much so.
Now, Thorin here, he's got the glazed look in his eyes. He's got the Erebor madness. Got that Erebor madness.
The one that we've had forewarnings of for 2 years.
He's
2 years of forewarnings that Thorin's about to lose his marbles.
Yeah, he's looking a little glazed. And then this, I tell you, this scene, this will sell you on high frame rate. This scene of
A
Lake
low
Town burning.
flyover. This must be one of the dragons doing his low
This is
flyover.
a building falling down. Yeah, we must be from the dragon's perspective because we're not, we don't see a dragon in this smoke anywhere.
We don't see a dragon anywhere in this entire
In
trailer,
the whole trailer.
which is a bit odd.
And then here's Bard. Is that his bow that he's supposed to shoot the dragon with?
No, as you know, we had a lot of talk and observing the wind lance, which is way over on top of the building where the Master of Lake Town lives. This bow behind Bard is only a regular longbow.
Okay.
It's definitely not
So
anything else. It's
this
nothing
looks-
else with a wind lance.
Bard is looking scared. So this is obviously before he shot at any dragon. This is probably the first time he's laying eyes on the dragon. I mean, he's got the
Yeah.
fear of life.
This might be his
eyes.
very first time to actually see the creature.
We're getting a text message at 53064 Frodo. Some fans are agreeing with you. They think he's wearing the mithril. Bilbo is wearing that mithril.
It looks like they're in an armory, and where else would Thorin bestow the gift as, here's a gift for you, my favorite burglar, before the whole Arkenstone complication happens? That might be the only reasonable part where Thorin would bestow the gift of a mithril shirt to Bilbo.
Do you think he does it not as like a kind favor, like this should pay our debts, bam? Do you think he
No.
Thorin gifts in a very stern, unfriendly way,
No, I don't think that happens until...
or
no.
a barter, like give me
No.
the stone, I'll give you this gift?
No, I don't think that happens. I really think that Bilbo's going to keep a tight lip and maybe just outright lie to Thorin's face about his knowledge of the Arkenstone. I really think he's just not going to mention it, which puts our dear Bilbo in a bit of a moral gray area. But then again, he is a burglar.
He is a
So
burglar.
let's see where this goes next.
And nobody trusts him.
No.
So we just saw Bard waking up and seeing the dragon.
Now, in the next shot, we see Bard perhaps several days later, after the destruction of Esgaroth. And here he is, speaking, one king to another king. Even though Bard is not yet...
He's not a king.
He is not yet to be king, but he will become...
This is the scene.
He will become the leader, the new leader of the Men of Lake Town.
That's a huge spoiler.
Not really.
Don't
the
tell
book
me anymore.
The book is 76 years old.
Don't tell me anymore.
Not a bloody spoiler.
All I know is that Bard looks like he's saying, "I told you so." Bard is
Yes,
like,
he is.
"Do not unleash that dragon." And Thorin in Lake Town is all about, "Hey, if you let me go take my clan and I'll defeat the dragon and I'll share my wealth with the residents of Lake Town." And all the residents of Lake Town are like, "Yeah!" And Bard's like, "Don't do it, bro." And then so this scene looks like Bard saying, "Dude, I told you so, and you owe us."
He is literally in the scene saying, "I told you so." But what is most interesting is this is a very tight, framed shot, framed by the force of the gateway. The gateway to Erebor has these dwarven designs in it. Look,
There you go.
There's Thorin on the other side, and these dwarven designs that mesh up through the stone leave these big diamond-cut openings, just enough for a whispering voice to urgently come through the wall. And also notice, look on Thorin's thumb.
Look at this.
You see these dwarven rings? Now, Thorin has obviously been inside the treasure pile, and he has got himself some dwarven rings.
And a new fur.
And a new fur, but this is so cool.
And he washed up. I mean, that's some freshly permed hair.
This reminds me, this thing on his, the dwarven ring on his...
Yeah.
It reminds me of the dwarven ring that we've just seen in the extended edition of Desolation of Smaug, which is the last of the 7 dwarven rings of power, the last of which belonging to Thrain, Thorin's father. And that ring...
You think this is Thrain's ring?
No, it has a similarity to it. I know it's not.
Do you think this is one of the 7 rings?
It is not. No, the last of the 7 is done and taken by Sauron, the Necromancer, in the extended edition of Desolation of Smaug. I know it's not the same ring, but I note the similarity in design. There is a similarity in dwarven design.
Someone just texted us a question. Is Thorin hiding in the mountain? Does he mean to do this? Is he purposely hiding in the mountain?
I think so. Yes. At this point, I think Thorin is purposely keeping him and his company inside the mountain. And maybe there will be some dialogue about we should send a message to my cousin Dane in the Iron Hills.
Okay.
Maybe that could be happening too.
Okay.
And maybe he's just gambling against time, hoping that his cousin shows up.
So he's kind of like, dude, I got all the wealth in the world, and now everybody wants me. That's kind of the look on his face. Like, he's rich, bitch, And now he's like, how am I going to protect my hoard? And this looks like the dwarves are kind of pissed at him because they know that he just unleashed that dragon and destroyed Lake Town, and he's going back on his promise to the people of Lake Town.
Yes.
He's not willing to share. So the fact that Thorin's not willing to share, and all these dwarves are like, bro, like, why you lying, bro?
The looks on their faces in this particular shot, especially the disgusted look on Bilbo's face.
Look at Bilbo's face.
Oh my gosh.
We've never seen Bilbo so pissed.
I've never seen Ori, and I certainly have never seen Keely and Balin, played by the wonderful Ken Stott. I've never seen them look with that kind of uncertainty and that kind of judgment in their faces.
So this
is a not cool moment for the dwarves.
And you know what I've never seen? I've never seen Boffer hide from the camera. Right behind Ori is Boffer, and we never actually get to see Boffer in this trailer.
No, we don't see him at all.
It's like, yo, bro, if you can't see the camera, the camera can't see you. But Bilbo is pissed.
Yeah, Bilbo looks really grumpy.
And the sunlight is filtering in. So this is after the dwarves are geared up. Look at his big old battle axe.
Yeah.
Brand new thing. They're just like they're ready for war. They're ready to. They've reclaimed their homeland, and now they're just like.
Look at the new chainmail and the new weapons that Dwalin has on the farthest left.
Yeah.
And that crazy new double-bladed crescent axe.
It's
really fascinating. But again, we leave the dwarves as we move forward through this revealing trailer. Okay.
And here we are in Erebor.
Now I think this might be cutting ahead. The film is jumping ahead and back in its own chronology.
Yes.
And this might be, obviously it's a shot of Thorin leaving from the main gate by himself.
Thorin is walking down those stairs by himself. And you've got 12 other dwarves right there. So this is after Fili and Kili and the Esgaroth 4 are back in Erebor. This is reuniting with kin.
Are you getting a full count of all the dwarves standing in a row there?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
There's 12 up there.
Yeah,
you missed one. There's 12 up there.
There's 12 up there, and then he's.
And Thorin is the 13th dwarf walking down.
But I love this architecture.
I definitely do.
Now, you made a comment earlier that you thought this might be where Smaug actually stormed out of the place.
How else could it have been busted open like that?
I don't think this is it. Like, this looks nothing like the doors that Smaug threw open, and there definitely wasn't all these stairs.
At the end of the Desolation of Smaug, Smaug goes through the Hall of Kings. Remember where Thorin says, "Lead him to the Hall of Kings." And the dragon goes all the way over there, gets doused in all the gold, and then when he gets out of the gold, he gets out of the mountain, and we don't know what passageway he takes to leave that hall.
Yeah.
Maybe the filmmakers didn't take the time to show us, but that's definitely the result of the dragon either coming in or going out.
Okay.
Now, it couldn't have been like that, because in the first film, everyone says, the gate is sealed. We have to use the magic secret door that's on the side of the mountain. And then, later in Desolation of Smaug, we see lots and lots of dead bodies of the unfortunate survivors of Erebor who could not get out. Yeah. So this could not have been busted open 60 or 80 years ago. It must have been busted open just at the end of the last film.
It looks like the Hall of Kings, says people in our chat room.
Well, it looks like the Hall of Kings, maybe, but we didn't see...
This is what we've been waiting for.
I thought Smaug went off towards the right. Like he disappeared and went out the right-hand side.
I don't think so. But, within the first hour and a half, within the first half of the Fellowship of the Ring, our first introduction to Middle-earth, we were already in Moria, surrounded by dwarven architecture.
In half an hour?
In the first half.
In the first half of Fellowship of the Ring.
In the first half of Fellowship of the Ring.
No, we didn't get to Moria in Fellowship of the Ring until about 2 hours into the film. Believe me.
Okay.
Trust me.
Well, it's nice
Because
to return.
after they leave Lothlorien, there's still 40 minutes left of the
Now,
film.
why do you think this? What's happening here? The statue's head is falling during the day.
Well, the entire statue. Look, an entire huge piece of the whole statue.
Now, why is that?
I can't imagine. Oh, maybe it's because there are giant catapults that those trolls have on their backs?
But there's nothing else flying through the air. There's no arrows. There's no other stuff.
There's no armies present?
What do you think they're blocking this doorway right here? Do you think Thorin's trying to block this doorway so the elves can't get in?
Maybe. But what a shame to destroy such beautiful ancientry. What a shame to destroy it.
It doesn't look, I don't know if that's during the battle. And here they are. Is that Dale?
In the background, yes. That is Dale with all the lights and all the fires, because Dale, the ruined city, that ruined city has now become an encampment for the armed forces of Lake Town and Thranduil's people.
So this is after Smaug is defeated. This is after they've the people have been rescued. So this is like day 2 or day 3 of
after Smaug's demise.
Yeah.
It might be 3 or 4 days, or maybe even longer. It takes a few days to go from Lake Town to go all the way up the running river.
Okay.
All the way up there.
Because the orcs aren't marching. Obviously, we see the moonlight. We think this is the same scene where Bilbo starts escaping, and I'm pretty sure that this is Thorin watching Bilbo escape. We'll see that at the end of this trailer. This is Thorin watching Bilbo escape, and he probably says something.
Do you think he's watching Bilbo sneak out in the middle of the night?
I think so.
No. I think Bilbo was much too careful for that.
Oh boy, here's what everybody wants to see. There's so much symbolism in the shot of the falling statue.
There is, and a lot of that was discussed in our frame-by-frame story that we published on our main page at TheOneRing.net. The symbolism of seeing these ancient dwarves in the line of Durin that are, carved in permanent, supposedly permanent statues, and then to see it, well, it's like Ozymandias, that old poem, look upon me, look upon my works, and yet they're crumbled into sand. So that's a statement.
So this is so much.
It's a statement about the veracity of history and the impermanence of the line of Durin.
Okay.
That's exactly what we get there. The impermanence of what this dwarven family always believed would be permanent. The sanctity of the line of Durin. And yet they're crumbling and crushed and falling down.
All right, here we go. War Moose time.
War Moose time.
Again, this is a scene that surprised me in HFR. This looks really good in high frame rate.
Oh, and look at the elves trying to quickly get out of the way. The first time I saw the trailer, I thought...
he's on a white horse. Look.
He's on a beautiful white horse.
Bard is on a white horse. So anytime you see a white horse, it's
would be Bard.
Probably Bard.
But when I saw this, I thought, how is the War Moose walking through without any of the elven soldiers moving? And now, indeed, now that we've slowed it down, I can see the elves are moving to get out of the way of their king.
They're getting out of the way. Now, that's Dale.
Yes.
Right? So this is this is at least halfway through the movie.
Yes.
And has already Dale. These are humans. These are the men. Elves in the front, and there's an army of men behind them.
Can I also make mention of how...
This is all men.
Can I make a mention of how Peter Jackson has changed the geography of all the land around them? See all the mountainous land behind them?
Yeah.
There are not any mountain ranges anywhere near there. The reason why the Lonely Mountain is called the Lonely Mountain is because it is a single post-volcanic geography. It's a piece of a mountain, a huge mountain with massive sweep of arms, but there are no other high elevations or high ground. There's no highlands and no mountains.
A similar thing would be...
There's nothing like that anywhere, and I know the lands of Middle-earth, especially around this area, and even as you go around Long Lake, and take a look at Long Lake in the last film, Desolation of Smaug, the whole lake seems to be nestled in these low mountains. That is incorrect geography from the way Tolkien wrote it. Completely incorrect.
Yeah,
Just saying.
The
for
Lonely
the record.
Mountain is supposed to
the
look
record.
like Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
In a way, yes.
You know, it's like nothing but flatland, and then out of nothing, there's this huge tower
A remarkable peak.
that you may remember
Yes.
from
Yes.
from the Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes, indeed.
It's quite a sight, and it's worth venturing out of your way if you ever have the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I
We
agree.
visited the Devil's Tower during our last
A road trip to
road
Dragon
to
Con.
Dragon Con.
It was so exciting.
And that was super fun.
The-
Someone in the chat room points out that Bard and Thranduil are equal height. This proves that Bard has earned equal respect
Mhm.
from a king who thinks highly of himself.
There is a lot we can infer. There's so much we can infer from this shot of seeing Thranduil and Bard together. And here's the thing. Hannah just texted us on the hotline, and she said, how does Bard meet up with Thranduil in the movie version? Does Legolas make his dad meet up with Bard? Well, here's the thing. The Master of Laketown must be out of the picture by now.
Yeah.
If he's gone,
This is way
Then
along in the movie.
it must be when all these other plot threads have led to the people of Laketown have elected or agreed to have Bard step up to plate and be their new de facto
Yeah.
leader of the
Again,
survivors.
Again, this is not just elves. This is men. The
Men
of
and
Laketown.
elves. And now Thranduil must be acknowledging the fact that he's dealing with a new master of Laketown, and it must be Bard. Otherwise, he and his royalty would not agree to have a parley with Bard coming with him.
You know, a little filmmaking trivia that when they were filming this scene, Thranduil is actually riding a horse. Lee Pace is riding a horse. That horse's name was Moose.
Yes, it was War Moose.
So there, it was just no. The horse's name is Moose, and then they CG'd out and made him a.
and they made him into a huge moose.
All right, so look, we see those things in the hall, in the wall that Bard is talking through. So these are the hall, and
The whole wall of the front gate.
look at Thorn and his little like devil horns.
Well, that's the similar crown that King Thror had
And-
worn in an unexpected journey.
We'll point out again. Here's our friend Bofer behind again.
Again, can't find the
You
camera.
can't find it. You got
He's hiding. Well, he thought the camera was in front of him when the camera was sweeping over to that side.
this is Biffer.
Yeah, there's Biffer,
I think that's
a dwarf with a helmet.
glowing.
Glowing has the reddest of all the red beards.
I think that's glowing over there. And look at the smug face on Feely.
Feely looks really.
Look, what's going on here? Keely is hurt. Keely's like, oh man, and Feely's looking something. This is one of the first times we see the two brothers, Feely and Keely, not seeing eye to eye.
Definitely not.
Because he's looking happy and smug, and Keely's looking sad and depressed.
Okay, thank you, Eroana Undomiel. Thank you for the correction.
This looks great in HFR. There's a correction.
There was a correction because I accidentally said Hannah, but it's Erana Undomiel.
Okay.
And Eruana. Now, here's something that someone just said in text on our hotline. It's not a moose. We must say that this is just a joke.
Yeah.
It's a fan nickname. Fans came up with a nickname that Thranduil is
Thranduil
riding.
and his war moose.
He's riding a war moose, but we know it's not a war moose. The creature that it actually is was designed by Weta based on an extinct creature from the deer family called the Irish elk.
Irish elk. It looks like a reindeer.
Yep, it is an Irish
face
elk. It's
with
modeled after
huge
that, not a moose.
Elk with moose-like.
But we do
but
we
it's
do
an elk.
call it the war moose as a joke.
It's a war moose as a joke because
Yes.
it's as big as a moose, and moose aren't supposed to be that big. Look at how.
Yeah,
Yeah.
live. So it's very much drawing the similarities between the opening of Fellowship of the Ring, when we see all the elves and the ranks of the troops of elves coming up in the last alliance of elves and men.
This is
And fans-
so smooth.
Fans see this and they're immediately wanting to compare the shots in Fellowship of the Ring opening to
Yeah.
these shots here.
Well, this is how Peter Jackson's starting to bridge the two trilogies.
He is, yes, he is.
This is
There's a lot of bridging that's going to be happening, especially when we get to Dol Guldur.
now as
I have come to reclaim something of mine.
Chris Kalasuri, our fearless leader of TheOneRing.net, he pointed out in the website's frame by frame that both lines out of Thranduil, this line and the line later in the trailer, basically show Thranduil being daddy. Like of all the alpha males in this movie,
he is the ultimate alpha male.
He is the ultimate alpha male, and he's basically, every line of dialogue of his is like, "I'm your daddy, and I'm gonna fix your mess. I'm here to fix all your messes, kids."
And he also sounds like, "I'm gonna fix your little red wagon."
Yeah.
He also has that vibe with him as well. I love what Lee Pace is doing with the role. I really do.
What do you think? What do you think of this difference of not having the map behind? Remember, in the other trailers, we kind of saw a map of Middle Earth.
We did, and I know why. I know why.
Abstract.
There's no map because there isn't any traveling in this film.
There is no traveling.
Everyone is exactly where they need to be.
The only people traveling are these orcses.
Tricksy orcs.
These are orcs. This is not a white orc. These are just random orcs.
Evil orcs who are just looking at...
Is that...
Wow.
Now, is that Weathertop right there?
No, it's just a crag.
Okay.
Just a crag in the distance.
So this is where we start to introduce some of the flags of the armies of Mordor, which you start to see in Fellowship of the Ring under Saruman's army.
Are they under the insignia of the eye? Does that look like they're under the eye of Sauron?
This looks like it's under the eye, but Sauron's not an eye yet.
Well, he has been depicted as an eye.
But he's not an eye yet.
He's been depicted in Desolation of Smaug as an eye, with Sauron in an infinite pupil of the infinite eye, which was handled very well. I thought that was brilliant, the way they did that.
But no, he doesn't look... We look at it as an eye, because we're coming in from the original trilogy.
Yes.
I don't think... Sauron's not an eye yet. He's a necromancer. He's been walking around as a full-body ghost. There's nothing there's nothing about Sauron, and we'll get to we'll talk more about Sauron in a couple minutes. But these armies are looking mighty fine. All right. Bilbo looking a little sad. We've got
in the background.
Kircher,
there's Bifur and Dwalin on the right. On the left, Glowing, Balin, and also Dori and Nori are behind them.
So there's
Dori and Nori.
This looks like it's before. This is early on in the movie.
It must be earlier because he has no mithril shirt.
Bilbo.
I'm telling you, look at what Bilbo's wearing now.
I agree.
This is his jacket from Lake Town. So in that earlier shot, in the armory, he must be wearing the gift of mithril shirt.
This is Bilbo. Everybody watching Lake Town burn.
Everyone on Undomiel says on the hotline that previous shot of all the troops of orcs is more than the 10,000 from Isengard.
Yes.
It really must be. It must be huge.
And here's another shot of those orcs. Now, there's a lot of debate of where they're going. I think they're going into some bat caves. I think these orcs that are assembling in a bunch of bat caves here, and this really affects, as your point, the Lonely Mountain was lonely.
It was.
Like, this is not Lonely Mountain terrain, according to the book.
No, they're somewhere else. These orcs that are issuing into, not out of, all the holes in the mountainside, they must be coming from the Mount Gundabad area.
We got a comment in the chat room saying the eye symbol was seen at the Elvish Gate to Mirkwood.
Thank you, Tim Dalf. Hey, yes, you're quite correct, Tim Dalf. The eye symbol was seen at the Elvish Gate entrance to Mirkwood. It was also seen in Dol Guldur, and I'm afraid, my dear boy, we'll see the eye again before this trailer is over.
I get it.
We will see the red eye.
We will see it in a frame, at least.
But let's bring up a question about whether orcs can move in daylight. Only in The Lord of the Rings was Saruman clever enough to breed the Uruk-hai who could resist daylight and move across great distances at speed. And we know this from reading the books and from our familiarity with those movies. Now it seems we have a lot of daylight orcs moving around in this Battle of the Five Armies, and it's a bit different because, you know, Minas Tirith was covered with clouds and shadow because Sauron had to cover the sky with the dark clouds from Mordor to let his armies come forth without the sunlight hindering them.
Yeah.
So this is a bit different. There are a lot of orcs moving around in sunlight.
You know what?
It seems a bit of what do you call that? a consistent
Well,
consistency
look at
problem.
This looks shady. It looks fairly overcast. And there is a break in the line of orcs here at the bottom right. There is a break in the line.
Yes.
Where there's sunlight. I don't know.
But they're definitely they're walking into the caves.
This affects the mythology that Peter Jackson set up in the first trilogy.
Everything that he's doing is trying to impact all of the mythology pieces as a whole.
All right.
And I'm assuming that the orcs are going into an underground area at Mount Gundabad. I don't know why they're going in.
Hashtag continuity problem.
Hashtag continuity, yes.
Yeah, Eravani's just saying what I just said.
Yes.
So we got, here's Tauriel and Legolas. This is interesting. When we last left him...
Now here are clouds.
Legolas,
definitely clouds over the sky here.
Legolas was chasing after Bolg.
Yeah.
Tauriel
on horseback.
Was stuck in Lake Town,
Yes,
rescuing her friend.
Saving small infants from
and
dying.
Pretending to be Arwen. So
Yes.
this is very, very, very
saving
far
little
in
babies.
This is very far in the movie. They're back together. Where is this? Is this Gundabad? Do we think that bats are coming out of Gundabad?
I can't imagine. This is Gundabad.
For sure.
This must be Mount Gundabad. It is the only unidentified edifice in Middle-earth that Peter Jackson has not showed us yet.
And this looks like...
It's the only thing he hasn't showed us yet.
The interesting thing is this architecture looks like the original Bolg played by Lawrence...
Makawari. Yes.
If you look up the original Bolg photos, we've posted them many times, of a man in suit, Lawrence... The guy who played Lurtz...
Yeah, Lawrence.
Was originally filmed. They filmed it.
Yes.
And his armor... looks like, and his weapons
did look like they were elements. Yes, I remember that creature that he was dressed as.
And the Bolg that we've seen
is different.
Is not only different, it is softer. It's more round. It does not look like
the new Bolg, however, has a lot of strange pieces of metal shoved into his skin.
Yeah.
He has metal implements in his body, and they're weird looking. But what's even stranger to me is this great big species of bat. They have tails, which they have longer tails than any bat in our natural world would ever have, and they have legs. These bats have longer legs and tails, and that's why a lot of jokes are made on the message boards about them looking like flying monkeys from the third act of The Wizard of Oz.
Look at those feet. Look at those feet right
there. These bats look like
they're harpies.
They might be harpies almost.
This is straight up Peter Jackson channeling some Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah, which I'm sure he loved as a kid. But
doesn't belong in Tolkien's Middle-earth. I hate this line. I hate. An army bred for a single purpose. Shut up. This is
another echo from Lord of the Rings.
This is Star Wars prequel echo that we just don't need.
How about the entire 3 minutes of...
This is my midi-chlorian moment.
Yeah, it is, but...
Shut up.
We had 3 minutes of Tauriel doing the same thing that Liv Tyler did.
I know.
It was a complete echo chamber of what the other character did.
It pains me. That line pained me.
All right. Here's a suggestion from the hotline, and I agree. Maybe there are pathways underground that travel towards Erebor to keep them out of the sunlight.
That has to be it.
That's an excellent, excellent idea,
has to be
and it agrees with Professor Tolkien's original canon.
And through Erebor...
In fact, Professor Tolkien probably says something in the original Hobbit text about them traveling through many, many tunnels underground. Tunnels that would allow them to get there without traveling through daylight.
All right.
Very good. You guys are bright as a box of crayons. I love it.
This is the most important shot in the entire trailer. This is what I think is the most important shot.
It is the single most exciting thing for me. I'm less interested in what's happening at Erebor. Yeah. I'm much more interested in what's happening here.
Okay, 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
The 9 are shown.
And they are spectral. They are almost like the spectral form that we saw when Radagast had a one-on-one encounter with the Witch King. However, they don't look wispy and smoky as if they were in the Twilight world. But they are distinctly 9 kings of men.
Now,
one of them has an Easterling.
Which one is the Witch King?
I don't.
This one
Yeah,
is the
this
Witch
one
King.
in the very, very center,
who
is getting closest to Galadriel and Gandalf.
This is the more interesting one.
Look at that. That armor is an exact recreation of armor from the Easterlings that we saw in the Return of the King.
The extended edition Return of the King. And who played the captain of the Easterlings?
Well, no, those no. That was a different guy on a boat, and Peter Jackson had a cameo with the Southrons.
The Southrons.
They were from the Haradwaith. They were the Haradwaith people.
That's right.
They were called the Haradrim. All right, Peter was on a boat with the Haradrim, with the Corsairs coming from Umbar.
Corsairs.
Yes, but this guy that we were pointing at, he's totally an Easterling, and that gives us the idea that of the original 9 kings of men, that Sauron originally enslaved with 9 rings of power, not all of them were from the immediate vicinity of Middle-earth.
No.
At least one of them was from the far lands of the east.
All the men.
It is, just this one shot is filled with so many juicy, hardcore details from the appendices. I couldn't be happier as a fan. I'm having a true geekgasm.
I think that
a true geekgasm.
Zooming in on
I
this,
love it. It's the best.
Zooming in on this guy right here, it looks like Peter Jackson. I think this is Peter Jackson's cameo. And if you look at Peter Jackson's San Diego Comic-Con costume,
yes.
he walked around Comic-Con in a jester costume.
A big, crazy black and white Harlequin jester. Yes.
With these big horn things coming out of his his head.
They kind of did,
I think
yes.
that Peter Jackson was trolling us at Comic-Con.
You're thinking too much into it.
With a preview of the character.
You're thinking too much into it.
All right, so let's keep going around the circle real quick.
Again, we must surmise that the other members of the White Council, Elrond, the Lord of Rivendell, and Saruman, and even Radagast, they have not shown up yet. However, Galadriel is there with Gandalf, who's very near dead, but look at the statuary that's right over them. The guy who's depicted in that piece of statue, he's holding a palantir.
This is a palantir.
He's holding a palantir in that statue's hand. Isn't that interesting?
He's holding a palantir right there.
And a lot of fans are suggesting that PJ's cameo might be in this shot as one of those ring wraiths.
That's what we just talked about.
I hope he doesn't. That would be too much of a distraction.
No. I think
it would be so much of a bad distraction if that is Peter as his cameo.
I just said
that's
him.
Yeah, everyone is saying that, but I'm just saying I hope.
Okay, can you help?
I hope it's not.
Can you help me go around like who are these other what other men are these? Are these other guys from other parts of the land?
I can't tell from this exactly what the. I mean,
well, the fact is, this is the 9.
There's a kingdom in Dol Amroth. There was a kingdom in Gondor. There was a kingdom in the east. A kingdom in the Harad. There was a kingdom way in Arnor, way up to the north. There were other male, mortal kings of men in other kingdoms, besides just the obvious ones of Gondor and Rohan. And look in this shot right here. You'll see Saruman running in the background. Look, there's Saruman running right
with his stick,
with his very recognizable staff.
There's his
There's
staff.
Saruman right in the background,
and he's in action.
And he is totally in action.
He's fighting.
He's not messing around. He's going straight for that ring wraith.
And he's not casting a spell. Like, he's really fighting.
Fascinating.
All right, so Galadriel. This must be when Galadriel first shows up, because
yes,
she gets battle damaged hard. We know for a fact that she sings some black speech and almost destroys herself.
And we also know from the Lego toy that her Lego toy from Battle of the Five Armies shows her with the Phial of Galadriel. So we should anticipate that will be used as a weapon by Galadriel to help bring the ring wraiths to bay, keep them at bay. As the phrase goes, wait, elven rings are all over this shot. Look at Gandalf's left hand.
There's one of the elven rings.
I know the name of it. It is Narya, the Ring of Fire.
And she's wearing the other one.
And she is wearing Vilya. Is it? No. She's wearing the Ring of Adamant.
Okay.
And there's Narya, Vilya, and Vanya. And I believe that Elrond, half-elven, he is wearing the third ring. The third elven ring.
And then...
And there he is.
Yo, bro.
Yes. And he must have his ring. Yep, there's his ring on his hand as well. I just saw it. There. That's
One
it.
frame.
Bam! There. Now, this is one of the most exciting things
Remember at the
for us fans to see all 3 Elven rings together being used visibly at the same time.
Remember at the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring, there are 9 were given to the men, 7 were given to the dwarves, 3 were given to the elves, and then there's 1 ring of power. So here we are in this trailer. We've got the 9 ghosts, the 9 of men.
The 9 ring wraiths.
We've seen the 3 rings of elves. At the end, we'll see the 1 ring. So the only...
it's Narya, Nenya, and Vilya.
Yes.
Okay? Nenya, excuse me, I was incorrect a few minutes ago. Nenya is the one which is called the Ring of Adamant, which Galadriel possesses. Narya, the Ring of Fire, obviously what Gandalf has. And in this very shot, Elrond has Vilya.
Vilya.
So exciting.
So all 3 elven rings. So basically, Sauron has the... Right now, in Dol Guldur, Sauron has the 9 rings,
yes.
the 3 rings, and...
No. Sauron never touched the 3 rings.
Okay.
Sauron has some of the 7, and he has all of the 9. But he doesn't have the 1, and he doesn't have the 3.
Mr. Anderson, so nice to see you.
Thank you for everyone in the chat room who corrected me on the names of the 3 Elven rings.
There better be some magic scenes.
There better be some crazy stuff going on in this Dol Guldur scene.
Leave Sauron to me. This is the highlight of the whole trailer.
Oh, by far, this is the best highlight of the trailer.
Okay, first off...
And isn't it interesting? Stop and reflect for a moment that we are far less interested in Thorin, Bard, the dragon. We're not really that interested in Thranduil even. Everyone on the web, everyone in the blogosphere is going nuts about what Saruman said. This one line, he steals the show.
So what?
He steals the show with this line. It's amazing.
So what?
What does that tell you?
It tells me that Peter Jackson didn't do his job in making us care for the characters over the last 2 movies.
It means that the Lord of the Rings fans are stronger and more, excited and more connected to this than anybody could have guessed. This is about Lord of the Rings.
This is mythology.
Fandom. This
is mythology.
Why is this shot in the trailer? Because it's satisfying Lord of the Rings fans.
Yeah, but
not Hobbit fans.
It's
satisfying Lord of the Rings fans.
We spent 2
only
movies.
For us.
We've spent 2 movies. I feel like through the Lord of the Rings trilogy, we really got a good sense of Frodo going mad.
Yes,
we really did. We were with Frodo the whole way. I didn't get that sense of Thorin going mad through this whole trilogy.
Yes.
I feel like that was different. Anyway, we got to get through this trailer.
We do, and we're moving along at a very brisk pace.
Okay, first off, we've got Saruman saying, "Leave Sauron to me." We've got Galadriel collapsed on the knee.
Gandalf is not there now.
Elrond.
Yeah.
Where is Gandalf?
He's not in the shot.
Where is Gandalf?
I don't know. I wonder where he is. Galadriel is there.
Galadriel was right. Gandalf was right here on this platter.
Now this must be a moment where the ring wraiths are gone now, and that means that Sauron is left standing. I can imagine the showdown. Bring out my minions first. If they can't deal with it, then I'll have to deal with it face to face.
And Galadriel
that must be the villain's logic, right?
And Galadriel uses her light of Elendil to get rid of all the ghosts.
In her phial, yes.
Yes.
But that phial only contains water from her mirror. And the mirror of Galadriel itself contains the light of Elendil.
Okay.
Excitement abounds with Christopher Lee saying, leave Sauron to me. Now the question that I just got on the hotline, does Sauron possess Thrain's ring? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Now that you saw what you saw in the extended edition of Desolation of Smaug, you know that to be true. Yes.
Gandalf kept the fact that he had Narya a secret. In the whole Lord of the Rings.
That's right. It was given to him by Círdan the shipwright. I wonder what Saruman would think of that, being the lead. Oh, yes, Matthew from Louisiana, you're correct. There's a lot of jealousy and rivalry between Saruman and Gandalf, and that is what spoils the relationship a lot of the time. From Saruman's point of view, Saruman is jealous that Gandalf was a better leader and was better liked. and Saruman was not as much of a natural leader.
And-
And there was
and
petty jealousy on
Gandalf went
Saruman's part.
everywhere. Gandalf was friends with everybody.
Especially the fact, I'm really glad, Matthew, that you mentioned this during our live show. The fact that Círdan the shipwright gave one of the 3 elven rings to Gandalf and not to the leader of the Istari was a big bone in Saruman's throat. And he never quite got over that. So this is a fascinating bit. Very good. And it's all going to lead up to how will Saruman turn from being a good guy to a resolutely shifty bastard.
All right, look at this. This is Benedict Cumberbatch as Sauron, as the Necromancer.
Yes.
He did motion capture. This is not Cinder
Yes.
from Killer Instinct. This is not who's the flaming guy from Fantastic Four.
Flame on.
Yeah,
Johnny, what's his name?
Blaze, Johnny Blaze.
I don't know, but let me say something. Why is it in every big fantasy or sci-fi film, you have a villain who's at the top of a staircase leading to nowhere?
Yeah.
Always.
And
This is villain cliche 101, that your bad boy is going to be at the top of some ruined chock-a-block staircase that leads to nowhere. It happens so often, even in kids' movies. But I love it. I have to say I love it. It's a great shot.
We've seen other pictures. We've seen other pictures of Sauron, the Necromancer, looking like.
Oh, it'd be Johnny Storm. You were talking about Johnny Storm.
But he's holding a Palantir, a flaming Palantir.
Well, that's in Brian Sibley's visual companion for the Hobbit book. Yeah, Brian Sibley, who's our friend and a Tolkien historian, has been publishing, the visual guidebooks to the Hobbit films. And in his visual guidebook, look, he actually shows Sauron holding a Palantir. And I assume that we're going to see an exchange of a Palantir from Sauron to Saruman.
Seriously,
makes me wonder.
We're 6 trailers in on the Hobbit trilogy. This is the 3rd movie. They've made $2 billion already.
And you still can't put Peter Jackson's name on the trailer.
Do we really need to be told from the director of Lord of the Rings?
Yep.
At least they didn't say from the best-selling book, from the acclaimed novel.
Yes.
They didn't put it. They
didn't.
They didn't even put Peter Jackson's name on it. People know Peter Jackson.
And they still don't use his name as part of the marketing.
From Peter Jackson, Zack Snyder's 300.
I know.
Frank Miller's 3.
Even when Disney does a movie, it'll say from visionary director Tim Burton.
Yes.
They'll use that in their trailers.
Yes, from
visionary director Tim Burton. But what do we get? Warner Brothers gives us from the director of LOTR. They don't even mention Peter's name.
All right.
That is exceedingly weird.
Bilbo escaping.
This is from the chapter A Thief in the Night.
He's totally escaping.
He's not escaping. He's sneaking out only to sneak back in. He is not escaping. He plans to come back the way he's leaving.
I think Thorin's watching him.
No, Thorin's not watching him, and I can tell you why. Look in the background. Go back, before Dwalin. Look in the background before Dwalin. In that other shot, it looks like there's still some lights and some fires on in Dale.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's watching him leave. I don't think Thorin is watching him leave at all. It would be kind of interesting if he does see him leave. Now, very important acting from Graham McTavish, who is an exceptional actor, very gifted, great voiceover actor in great video games. And Graham McTavish says to Thorin, "You're not yourself.
You don't see. You can't see what you've become.
You can't see what you've become." That's what he says. You can't see what you've become. And Thorin is like, "Are you going to challenge me?"
Thorin. Now, what's this on his lapel?
Well, we're cutting back and forth in this trailer. In the previous shot, before this, there he is in brand new stuff from Erebor.
Yeah.
And in the next shot,
freshly clean.
This is later in the film. Now this must be earlier because he's still in Lake Town clothes.
His hair is all messy.
He's in Lake Town clothing.
Yeah.
And it's a different shot. How interesting that you get Thorin back to back, but from totally different segments of the film.
Now this is a lot of fans. This is the point where it brought tears. This is the first point that brought tears to people's eyes. A lot of fans were on Twitter saying, This brings all the feels right here.
All the feels?
The Hobbit trilogy started with a headbutt and ends with this. And this is
that is the uncle and the nephew who are
meeting. His hair is still unkempt. I think he's still wearing Lake Town clothes. I think this is the reuniting.
This must be the moment where he's just come all the way back after Lake Town was destroyed.
I'm glad you made it out.
Yes. Yes.
And he's so cute, supposedly.
Well, the girls keep telling me that.
All right, so you know what? You're right. That's where Smaug busted out.
He must have.
Like that shows how big Erebor is.
And look a bit further up. There's the terrace where they would stand and watch and look out over them.
Yeah, and
unless it was there. They have two different places where they can watch.
Dang, Smaug busted out. Like, it looked huge.
Yeah, actually,
Smaug was huge.
When Smaug busted, well, maybe that gate is larger than we think.
I don't know. Like, yeah, Smaug was bigger than this hole. Maybe not.
Maybe Smaug came out of another place besides the front gate. But I don't think so.
These are the Thranduil's elves.
That's a lot of brass polish. As I said in my analysis online, that is a lot of brass polish for all that armor.
This is where all the cameos would be for friends and extras and stuff like that.
Also, that little nuzzling of uncle and nephew is the only family bonding. Yeah. And Eruana Undomiel is correct in pointing out this is the first time in 3 movies we see real family bonding. Aside from the first headbutt that Balin and Dwalin have.
All right, he's got that cool crown on.
The crown of
Thror.
Hair
is freshly washed.
King under the mountain.
This is King under the mountain right there.
He sure is.
Yo, this is it. This is Thranduil being daddy. This is Thranduil looking at his wife like, I told him no. And you went and let him play, and now look at him.
Thranduil is the only person in all of Middle-earth who is a level of royalty, like a leader.
Yeah.
He's the only leader or kingly royal personage who talks back in such a nasty, hostile way to Gandalf. Nobody else speaks to Gandalf with that kind of hostility except Thranduil. Another excellent characterization by Lee Pace. Thranduil is a haughty son of a bitch. He's very haughty. Very.
You will forgive me for finishing what you started.
Oh, but he doesn't mean it. He doesn't even mean it. He doesn't mean it. You will forgive me. He's just threatening. He's saying to Gandalf, I'm threatening you. I'm going to finish this mess.
What?
He's being very hostile to Gandalf.
Is this an elvish tent? Look at that chair.
Yep.
That's
totally an elvish tent. Yeah.
Elvish war tent.
Yep. We're probably in Thranduil's tent right there.
So how did Gandalf get to Thranduil's tent?
Well, after leaving Dol Guldur, he had a long way to ride.
Oh my god.
Hey, wait, in the teaser, we see Gandalf riding on a familiar horse into Dale. Riding into Dale. Remember? We do see that.
Yeah, these elves were bred for a single purpose.
So many elves. That's a lot.
A lot of them are female actresses. You can see a lot of them are females.
Well, that's the joke in the extended edition of An Unexpected Journey, that Keeley can't tell the difference.
All right. And then here we go. A lot of debate on this next shot.
Here's an interesting concept from the hotline. Perhaps they destroyed the statue deliberately to block the door which Smaug burst open. The stairs that Thorin walks down look like they're thrown together with rubble to me.
Yeah.
That seems like a very good idea. A small measure of trying to protect themselves by blockading their big front gate. All right, here we go.
Right, when I first saw this, I thought these were orcs'.
No, that's Dwarven Armory.
And these dwarves are definitely
from the Iron Hills.
These are Dane's dwarves.
These are definitely the people belonging to Dane Ironfoot.
This is Dane, played by Billy Connolly. These are Dane's dwarves. They're ready for battle.
What else is interesting? What kind of a creature was it that pulled that crossbow? Move your mouse down here. See the front? See this? Yes. There would have been some kind of creature attached to that. Right there.
Right there.
And we don't know what creature would have been attached to that. But something, maybe
ram.
The rams, maybe those huge battle rams.
Maybe a huge ram.
Yeah, maybe, but that is...
Okay, what are the elves firing on?
Well, they're not firing at the dwarves at the gate.
No, they're not.
And also,
Dale is supposedly up in this corner, right?
no, Dale would be way out of frame, further off to the south.
Up there, right?
No.
They're not shooting at Dale.
No. Imagine that this is a direct line from the door to Dale. So Dale would be further back this way off to the left side of the frame.
The point is, they're not shooting at Dale.
They're not shooting at Dale.
They're not shooting at dwarves.
They're not shooting at dwarves up in Erebor. But even notice this. Look, the gate has not been protected by a crumbled statue. That dwarf statue is still complete and intact, and there's nothing blocking the gate at all now. That's interesting. So we really don't know what's happening in relation to the timeline of that dwarven statue crumbling. We don't. Maybe they're shooting their arrows as a volley over at the arriving orcs.
Yeah, because Bilbo escapes and he has to crawl over a crumbled statue.
Yes.
When he escapes.
So maybe this hasn't even happened yet. I wonder where this is in the timeline.
This is before Bilbo escapes.
It must be, because.
So do the elves get in the book? Do the elves get to Erebor before the Bilbo escapes?
The elves can get there quicker than anyone because they're immediately next door to Lake Town.
You don't think
the elves and their contingent can get there faster than anyone?
So
I'm wondering.
We don't know who they're shooting. All right, I thought this was Tauriel. A lot of people think this is Bard. Who do you think is riding this white horse back to Dale?
Huh. Erwana Undomiel says maybe they're shooting at Dane.
That's a possibility. Who do you think is on this horse? I think it's Tauriel.
Yes, a lot of people identify that as Tauriel.
And a lot of people think it's Bard because we see Bard on the white horse. Here's why I think it's Tauriel.
Might be Bard.
Feely and Keely watching their new best friend and lifesaver leave. So
maybe that is Bard right after he whispers through that diamond-shaped hole in the gate.
No, I think it's Tauriel because look, why are Feely and Keely watching this person run away? They're not watching Bard. They're watching Tauriel.
Because Feely and Keely also lived through the destruction of Lake Town.
I know.
Which they have a certain empathy. They have an empathy with Bard more than the other dwarves do.
I think it's Tauriel.
I think it's Bard.
Okay.
I think it's Bard.
What do we got here? We got Gandalf in Dale.
Yes.
In amongst a bunch
now,
of
who's
men.
behind Gandalf's hat on his left-hand side? Is that Stephen Colbert? No, on Gandalf's... Is that Stephen Colbert right there?
This guy?
Yeah.
No. Someone thinks this is Dan Henna.
He looks a lot like Dan Henna.
The visual effects supervisor.
Looks a lot like
Oscar-nominated visual effects supervisor for The Hobbit, and he was on Lord of the Rings. This looks like Dan Henna, who was at our Oscar party.
He was
a couple years ago.
Okay, in that previous shot with all the elven archers shooting that volley.
Yeah.
One of our very excellent and observant chatters has said on the hotline, "This isn't the statue that fell. Look, there's a small statue to the left on the facade, and it is gone. So it's a smaller statue, not the giant ones that got pushed over.
Okay.
While the one still stands on the left."
You're right.
Okay, thank you, Matthew from Louisiana.
Good call.
Okay, good call. Very good.
All right, so Gandalf, this is like Gandalf.
Yeah. We have a lot of people texting us that they can see that detail. That's very good.
Gandalf's got his hat. Gandalf got his hat
back. The hat that he lost entirely in Dol Guldur, he's got it back.
Whose staff is this?
That's Radagast's staff.
Without a stone in it.
Yep.
This is Radagast's staff without a stone.
Uh-huh.
What does that mean? It is. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
Well, we all know that Gandalf's original wooden staff was destroyed by the Necromancer in Desolation of Smaug.
He gets it before he gets to Dale. Before the battle even begins, he has Radagast's staff. So,
Radagast must give him his staff when he leaves Dol Guldur. And a great line of dialogue from Martin Freeman saying, "Faced with death, what can anyone do?"
This is in Dale.
Definitely.
This is definitely in Dale.
Dale.
It has started snowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by this time in the movie, Lake Town is completely gone.
We're back at
Mount Gundabad.
Uh-huh. I just love this architecture. I wish they would have kept
Bolg. This one shot you're looking at now, before we go past it, is more like beautiful John Howe and Alan Lee artwork than anything. This is an excellent thing. You guys are getting fan service. This is an Alan Lee painting come to life in this single shot. That's all it is. And it looks really great.
The original Bolg. Oh, it makes it. I lament the fact that they changed.
Yeah.
All right. Here's where we get it stuff. We are these orcs or Danes people?
Looks like dwarves
These look like dwarves.
because they don't have. None of the orcs would have uniform pikes.
There's no
uniform weaponry in the land of orcs
there's no
and goblins.
banners. There's no banners. Look, no banners in this.
This weaponry. This weaponry indicates dwarven weaponry.
This is dwarven weaponry.
And the armor? Yeah, the armor, well...
This is a big deal. There's no...
They're not elves.
Banners. There are no banners. And
No.
Sauron's forces always have banners.
Are they elves? No, wait, take a look.
Dwarves. Danes. There are Danes dwarves. And this is... we can't tell if this is...
No, that can't be
Beast
correct. Why would the trolls come in behind them? And don't they have skulls? Look at the skulls. Wait, those must be orcs. And they must be more organized. Because they have skulls. Look at all the skulls here, and here, and here. There's lots of skulls they've got.
yeah, they've got skulls
So
on their backpacks.
This is not a dwarven army. This is an orc army.
They've got skulls on their backpacks.
They've got
yo.
skulls on their backpacks,
Yo.
And even more interesting, they have a very surprising uniformity in their weapon design, which is a new thing with orc armies.
And these beasts of burden.
Yeah, and look at this guy. Who's this guy right here? He's going to be the commanding guy.
There's a couple levels of trolls.
Yeah, he's going to be the command guy who gives.
Look right here. That is a troll holding a club.
Well,
a big white troll.
Even in Tolkien's books, there's a difference between cave trolls and stone trolls, and even third, hill trolls. Hill trolls,
boom.
stone trolls, and cave trolls.
And you got one troll.
You've got
managing the bigger trolls.
Yeah, you've got a little troll. He must be a hill troll,
Woo.
And they're managing the cave trolls, who are ginormous.
I never noticed that before. That's a big reveal.
That's pretty cool.
All right, who is riding into town here on their white horse? That is Tauriel. See, look at her hair bounce.
That's Tauriel and Legolas on the same horse. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we see the survivors of Lake Town on the shoreline.
Legolas is on the horse? Yes,
yep,
he is.
I see his blonde hair.
Okay,
and
so
in the far distance, we see the southern Alps of New Zealand, but there were no southern Alps around Long Lake. That is completely incorrect geography. Just saying, as a purist,
that's Tauriel
for the sake
and
of the
Legolas
books.
riding into thing. All right, this is a big horn that we think Bomber blows.
Yep. Emily, our friend Stargate Geek from all the way from England, says that they might be
hobgoblins.
And she also says, "What about mountain trolls?"
Not half troll. Those are
I think the hill trolls that are HILL, hill trolls and mountain trolls. I think are one and the same. Perhaps they're the same. This
is our first look at a hobgoblin.
That is not. There were no hobgoblins. Okay, there's mountain trolls. Maybe hill trolls are the same. Really, hobgoblins? I don't think they're hobgoblins.
Fans are excited.
We have stone trolls, cave trolls, and hill trolls, which come down from the mountains.
All right, Thorin. Look, he's got a couple dwarven heads on a stick. This is battle damage. Like this is straight up. Keely bean.
Keely is ready to take on his uncle.
Yo, bro.
Absolute defiance of his uncle.
After that personal moment. And this at first glance, I thought this was your favorite because those are the train tracks. Those are the tracks right there. I thought we might get a glimpse
of my favorite wheelbarrow.
Your favorite wheelbarrow.
No, this is somewhere else.
But yeah, Keely saying, "I will not let others fight our battles for us."
Yes.
Do you think he's talking about Dane?
He's talking about Tauriel and
really,
and probably Dane as well.
Wait, and who's there? Who's in the background?
Star-Lord? No, he's Nori. Dory. No, it's Dory and Nori on the farthest right.
Dory, Nori,
and then Biffer and Feely.
Biffer and Feely.
Yes.
Woo!
And now...
Is this the Black Arrow?
Yeah, Luke Evans is keeping himself.
Is this the Black Arrow?
I don't know, but it sure does look like. No, that's not the Black Arrow.
That's
it has
not the Black
no,
Arrow.
but it is an arrow that he's using to keep himself alive. It is a huge arrow that he has to use for that longbow.
But it's not the Black Arrow.
And this must be in the earlier part of the film, where Smaug is very busy attacking and destroying Esgaroth.
And here we go, our only shot.
Our only shot of
Alfred.
Stephen Fry as the master of Lake Town. And Alfred, yes.
John Gage? What's his name?
Stephen Gage, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's Stephen Gage who plays Alfred.
And they're just kind of like, stuff's blowing up.
And they're just trying to escape alive, and there's probably nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
Ryan Gage. His name is Ryan Gage. That would be the master of Lake Town as Stephen Fry, and Ryan Gage as Alfred.
All right, here we go. A moonstone. There's a moonstone under that.
Is this where they say farewell to each other? For the very last time?
He's looking up to the woman in his dreams.
He is completely smitten. Smitten like a kitten. And she's just looking at him like...
Yeah, I think...
like you're a lost puppy dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we've heard rumors that they've completely saved themselves from the love triangle.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like, hey, man, I'm sorry to lead you on, but we're just best friends. Like, he's totally getting, what do you call it? You know, when you're like in love with someone and they're just like, oh, I thought we were just friends. Friend zoned. This is
friend zoned.
This is him. This is Keely getting friend zoned by the elf. Look at the look on her face. That's Toriel friend zoning.
Yep.
Woo!
That's the look that every girl gives a guy when she's like, let's just be friends.
Yeah, sorry,
that's
bro.
Definitely that.
You're cute. She's like, you're so cute, but you're not for me.
And now Ravenhill. We know that we're going to be in Ravenhill.
What's Ravenhill?
Ravenhill is mentioned by Tolkien in the original books, and it's going to be a strategic place right outside of the Lonely Mountain. Oh, look!
It's not Dale.
It is not Dale. No, this is Ravenhill. And
where is it?
Ravenhill is one of the arms of the mountain, the Lonely Mountain.
Okay.
And it's one of the places where
look at those
we're going to
feet.
We're going to see a lot of fighting between Azog, Bolg, and our lead heroes, because they're going to try to intercept Azog at Ravenhill to head them off at the pass.
Look at those feet. That's definitely a bat.
Those bats
feet
have the longest feet and legs that any bat.
Straight up like Harryhausen style, like Jason and the Argonauts.
These are not regular bats; these are bat creatures.
I think, and
really strange.
Here's a huge thing. What's going on here? This is Thranduil getting angry. He cuts a bow. Look, she has her bow drawn. Look, she is tensioning her bow. She is pulling an arrow back on her bow.
Yes.
He breaks the bow, and the arrow goes flying off of the bow.
Yeah.
So she has got a tensioned bow.
Yeah.
Right in front of him. There's
right in his face. And
that's not an elf. That's a human.
Yep.
That's a man.
They're in Dale. And he breaks her bow.
He breaks her bow.
And part of her hair goes flying. Yeah, he snaps her bow to pieces.
And that arrow
is gone.
So he's blocking her from shooting
at someone or
something. He's not slicing her throat. He's blocking her from shooting.
Yeah.
And originally people thought this was a blood splatter.
No, he's just got.
No, that's just a hair.
That's just a lot of mud and mess on his face.
But it's a flying hair. Like you see it's on his face before he finishes his move.
Yes.
You see it, so it's just mud on his face. He just broke her bow. She was about to shoot something, and he blocked it. That's what's going on.
Do you know, looking at Lee Pace with that snarl on his face reminds me of Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Which was also Lee Pace. Excellent.
Angry Thranduil and Bad Toriel.
Yes.
That's fan service if I've ever heard of it.
Yep, it sure is.
All right, here we go. Azog. You have to show Azog. And
It's Azog.
it's interesting that
It's not.
it's
Listen, you know how to. You know the difference between Nevada and Nevada.
you know the difference between Iggy Azalea?
It's Nevada. The state is pronounced Nevada, like hat, Nevada, and it's Azog, like hat.
Azog is looking better than ever.
Azog, not Azog.
Azog's looking better than ever, but unfortunately, Bulg gets more screen time.
Azog is looking very World of Warcraft in this shot right here.
Doesn't he? He looks straight out of the new World of Warcraft
Yep.
TV trailers.
He sure does. And this is him in
And
new
that-
armor. In
That's
new
an
armor.
Eye of Sauron. Doesn't his armor look like the
It looks like the
Sauron's
top
eye?
of Barad-dûr.
Yeah,
It does.
This is the start of Barad-dûr.
Yeah.
And maybe Azog lives, and he goes and builds Barad-dûr.
There's a hint of Barad-dûr here in Azog's armor. And again, we're back at Ravenhill. Yes.
Yeah, that's straight
Back
up.
in Ravenhill.
The defining. You know, that word defining must have been like a big strategy meeting.
Must have been.
You know,
is that
just
Bard there?
Bard
I don't know who
holding
it
a
is,
sword.
but I think it's Bard
holding a sword on the edge of an ice cliff.
on the edge of a frozen ice waterfall.
Like, is this Ravenhill?
I don't know. I don't know where
That
they
looks
are.
that
That looks like the outside of Dale.
Dale.
Yeah.
That looks like Dale.
Uh-huh.
That looks like,
A torchiere that's not lit. Yeah.
and that's Dracula Untold.
Yes, it is Dracula Untold.
That's Bard calling the bats home.
That's very funny.
That's Bard calling the bats.
Keep going. We have a close-up of
Tom Wilkinson.
Tom Wilkinson. Yes.
From Batman Begins, you might remember
Yes.
him as
Yeah.
and he's Oscar nominated for many great movies.
This-
Tom Wilkinson.
This guy looks like one of our first trolls from An Unexpected Journey.
You know, I think this is Gothmog as a junior soldier. He's got the same upturned nose. If you look at carefully at Gothmog, the general of the armies of Sauron at the Battle of Pelennor Fields at the end of Return of the King.
Yes.
The white orc that everybody hates that looks like the sloth.
He was the leader of the armies.
Yeah. This looks like an early version of Gothmog. He's got the same chin and the same face and the same upturned snout. There's a few pictures on Twitter and Tumblr floating about that do a side by side of him and Gothmog, and
Funny.
I think this is from at least the same race of orcs and trolls.
All we know is that we're dealing with different breeds of trolls.
Is this a troll or an orc?
That's a troll.
How do you know?
Because I can tell.
How do you tell?
Because the trolls are depicted as not wearing any clothing or armor. All orcs and all the goblins have some type of armor or weaponry. And the trolls are huge, big, bald, ugly, shirtless things. And that means the trolls have that uniform
First off,
look.
Look at how thin his left arm is, and look how muscular his right arm is.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Like, that's straight up. I bet you this troll gets burned on the half side of his body, kind of like
And he looks more human.
Like Two-Face.
He might be a half troll. He looks more human than any other troll we've seen.
I bet you this guy gets burned by fire, and then it gets cooled off by the ice, and he starts plumping up, and he becomes Gothmog, like Two-Face. Gothmog is basically Two-Face.
Fascinating.
Dude, look how big his arm is. Like, I guess we know what. Well, never mind.
And one of our very clever viewers in the hotline has said that that troll looks more humanoid and more human than other trolls do.
Okay, look at these glowing eyes. What is going on? I've never seen.
Now we're back at Ravenhill.
So are those orcs because they're wearing armor?
Those are orcs.
And their eyes are glowing?
And they're coming right after
and they
Bilbo.
look like monkeys.
Well, Bilbo is being caught unaware, and it looks like Bard or Dwalin.
Dwalin.
Is that Dwalin?
Yo.
Yeah, Dwalin is. Well, look at that big Dwalin axe coming.
Look at Dwalin's big battle axe. He's about to
chop some orc.
Look, they cut that right where they need to.
Yep. And that's how you chop.
This is Ravenhill?
Yeah, this is Ravenhill.
So how does Dwalin get to Ravenhill?
I don't know. But it seems that some of the dwarves of Erebor leave the mountain to go and have make an attempt to cut off an attack at Ravenhill.
Beth in the chat room says she always thought Gothmog just didn't get fully baked when they made him in the orc oven, and that's why he looks the way he does. Yeah,
Very funny. Very funny.
His skin didn't fully set. All right, so that's Dwalin coming to the rescue.
And Bilbo is dodged out of the frame. And
this is Azog.
Azog is up against
in his
Thorin.
Third. This is his sword arm.
Yes.
That's his sword arm, and
he's upgraded his amputee arm.
And
Woof.
this is Thorin. Boom, coming down hard.
Yes. Thorin. Interesting how Azog has done a weapon upgrade on his whole amputee arm.
Look at that amputee arm.
That means that something disgusting happened. In the case of Azog, his pitchfork ugly thing that he had before
He just
in the first two movies, it comes out of his elbow. So he must have had it yanked out and another one put in.
No, he's just like Captain Hook. Shmee, get me my goblet.
No, look at it. The blade is going all the way through the backside of his arm. It's a completely different thing.
No, well, it's connected here, but then it's got separate pieces of metal that go backwards. It's still connected.
And it's different from what he had in the other films. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I know, but it doesn't mean it spears through his arm. It goes around his elbow. This is just like, he's just Captain Hook. Think of Azog as Captain Hook. He's got a big old sword arm. Look at his cod pieces. What is that? Is that a human or a dwarf?
They're all dwarven faces.
Wow.
Around his.
Yo, bro.
Yeah.
Chill. All right, so we're definitely in Ravenhill.
Yes, we are. We're in Ravenhill, another location that we haven't seen fully in the first two films.
All right.
Okay, defining chapter of the Middle-earth legend, and now
we should point this out. Unique to Tolkien, his universe is known as the Legendarium.
Well, that's a term that he applied. A Legendarium.
Tolkien himself applied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a name given to him later.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
DC Universe.
Middle-earth Cinematic Legendarium.
Tolkien himself called it the Legendarium. So this is true to Tolkien.
In a sense.
This is true to, by calling it not. They could have used many other words. The Middle-earth trilogy, the Middle-earth series, the Middle-earth universe, the Middle-earth saga. There's Star Wars is known as a saga.
True, but the Middle-earth saga is the official name that they have, and that was announced in the extended edition of Desolation of Smaug. There was even a graphic they made for it.
Okay.
The 6-part Middle-earth saga. So it's interesting they didn't use that word saga here in the trailer.
All right, this is at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
And
they're watching Lake Town in the far, far distance.
Bomber.
Realizing
Dwalin.
It's over for those poor people.
Balin.
Those poor people.
Star-Lord.
Nori.
Glowing. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 dwarves there. And Bilbo. Bilbo at the back. So the dwarves are just watching this this dragon just decimate. Is this Dale?
Yes. That's Dale on the left.
Absolutely,
yes.
Is that close to them? Are they in Dale? They're in Dale. They're not in Erebor, they're in Dale.
Well, where they're standing right now?
Yeah.
They're in Erebor overlooking Dale and the Long Lake.
Dale is that close.
Yes. You saw that in An Unexpected Journey.
Dale is that close?
Dale is literally right outside the gate.
Okay.
Literally outside the gate.
All right, this is just a follow-up shot. That's not the Black Arrow. All right, this is the shot of Tauriel that they photoshopped her face. Remember that horrible Photoshop job in the first scroll?
Oh yeah.
Scroll?
I do remember that.
The scope on this one frame is amazing. Which frame are you talking about? Let's go back a little bit. Someone just texted us. The scope in which frame?
The scope on this one frame is amazing.
This. You've got Lake Town burning. You've got Dale.
Dale and
you've got the dwarves.
And the dwarves of Erebor in the very near foreground.
Yes.
And yes, indeed.
All right, Toriel doing her thing.
Someone asked in the hotline, are those giant bats going to grow up and be the things, the fell beasts that the ring wraiths ride?
Well, maybe that's the start.
Wouldn't that be cool, Sarah?
Holy smokes!
That would be cool,
Look
Sarah.
at those feet. Look at those feet. Is this what I think it is? Tears of a friend?
Yep.
Is this
Tears of a friend, because we're on the
this it?
friend tip. Yep.
This is that's
That looks like the moment when our boy Keeley is quite dead.
and she can't save him.
Yep. She can't save him this time.
And where did he die?
It looks like they're in Ravenhill. See all the
Where-
snow on the ground?
Where did he die in the books?
In the books, Keeley
Where? Just tell
dies
me.
somewhere in the Battle of the Five Armies, but we don't know where exactly.
Is Ravenhill part of the battle or
Ravenhill is a place where they have dialogue with the talking crows before the battle even begins.
So this is not book accurate if he
No.
dies.
It's not. Nope. I don't
Peter
expect much to be book accurate anymore. I really don't.
According to Richard Armitage today on Twitter, he said Thorin. People will be surprised how Thorin goes. Peter has changed the deaths, the way people die.
You think?
We know for a fact, Richard Armitage.
That must be
All right,
an interesting thing.
Back to the first shot. Freedom, freedom! We've got our
Well,
house back.
he's got his arms up in triumph, like
We did
mine.
We did it! We did it! We did it! Okay, here's Bolg.
All right, Bolg is giving Tauriel a difficult
Woo!
time.
Boom.
And that's some very good wire
That's
work.
a back-cracking,
That is a back-breaking moment.
back-breaking. See, this Bolg does not match the
The first one that
the
was
Gundabad hills. Like if you look at the old picture of Bolg, that does not look like the Gundabad.
orc. Well, it's Azog who's described as a Gundabad orc, you know.
Interesting.
Azog, who is Bolg's father.
All right, we know for a fact that this line that Gandalf delivers in the trailer is two separate scenes spliced together.
Two separate lines that have been
Super-
Frankensteined.
The first part of the line where now you must choose.
Yes.
That the ending to that statement is now you must choose what side you're on
Yes.
in relation to the great battle ahead of us.
That's right. That's right.
So that's clever editing. Is this Radagast staff?
Yes, it must be.
Okay.
It must be.
All right. Here's Bolg again.
Yeah, Bolg fighting on Ravenhill with both
Toriel
and Legolas. All right, and Legolas cannot seem...
Do you think Legolas won't be sliding on any shields? this
Legolas
time?
cannot seem to finish this fight with Bolg. Weren't we doing this in the last movie? Fighting between him and him? Yeah.
Cut to something else. All right, here he is with his knives.
Oh, no.
So this is Ravenhill. Is this on the opposite side of the mountain?
It's adjacent to the Lonely Mountain. Not that far down one
but
of
on the opposite side of where the front gate of Erebor is.
I believe it's on the western slope.
Okay. This is the very beginning of the movie.
Actually, I was just given an excellent bit of advice from Matthew on the hotline. Thank you, sir. Ravenhill is the end of the high ridge extending southward towards Dale from Erebor itself. Yep, so it's extending southward.
This is the very beginning of the movie. This might be the opening shot.
Yeah,
I
because
can totally see the title. I can totally see the title coming
Lake Town
in.
is still standing.
I can can't you see the title?
Yes.
The
Yes.
Battle of the Five Armies, and there's Erebor and the Moonlight,
Moonlight
and then
and no Smaug.
and then a dragon comes in. There's something burning right
But
there.
there's just no Smaug in the whole bloody trailer. Isn't that weird?
We got him in the first one, didn't we?
A little bit.
Right. There's Azog with his Arm V2
ARM version 2.0.
version
Yes.
2.0. Earlier we saw version 3.0.
Oh, you almost couldn't duck that. Who's he fighting?
Thorin.
Okay, that's Thorin. And weapons clash.
Boom. All right, and then we got men
Barely
facing orcs.
armed men of Lake Town taking on the first battalion of orcs. Oh, and here's an ugly...
This looks like the guy that was running the
catapults, yeah.
catapults. So,
One of those ugly... These guys must be... And there's Bard in the chariot.
oh my gosh, there's your golden wheelbarrow moment.
Yeah. But instead of being a cave troll, like those big guys. This must be one of the hill trolls.
That runs that manages the bigger
Yeah.
beasts of burden.
Maybe they're just smaller trolls that haven't grown to full ugliness yet.
All right, what's going on in Dale? Like, is there? It's under fire.
Well, if there's a lot of fighting, there might be something burning.
All right.
I wouldn't think there'd be much left to burn
So
in Dale.
In the first trailer, we got a peek at the Rams, but we didn't.
We
get
saw
any-
Rams pulling a different chariot
Yeah.
down the ice with Balin.
Is there any significance to his sword here?
No, it's just a leftover sword they got from the Dale Armory.
Okay.
But here we are, the climactic final moment of this trailer. After Bard
Where is he?
hits a weird hill troll. With
He's got mithril on.
This is much later in the story.
Is he in Dale?
Yes, he is.
This is a Dale door.
That is definitely one of the physical pieces of Dale. And he puts the ring on his middle finger.
The ultimate FU.
The ultimate FU to Michael Pellerin and the behind-the-scenes team.
Yeah.
Because Martin Freeman wanted nothing but to keep flipping them off.
This goes to the big old bird flipping video that went viral.
Yep.
Basically, he was just trolling us because he knew that he was putting on his ring like this. I feel like Martin Freeman and his middle finger is kind of like Peter Jackson's costume at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
They were trolling us.
Maybe.
They intentionally
Maybe they
did
were.
this stuff.
And as he puts the ring on, he fades to invisibility.
He starts to fade.
He starts to go invisible, and then, bam!
Boom. Lens flare.
A lens flare.
You know, I really
Or
like.
two.
I like this. I really like this metallic version.
That's gold.
It's gold.
It's totally gold.
and I love it.
It's not earthen. It's not wooden. It is gold.
It's
completely
my favorite logo.
gold. It looks great.
December 17th, see it in Real D, HFR 3D, and IMAX 3D. Again, we haven't heard that IMAX will have HFR 3D. We should know more information later this week.
They did last year.
We do know that they're going to have trilogy screenings on Monday. Monday, December 15th, I believe, or
Yes.
16th.
Monday. The Monday. 2 days before.
Monday, screenings start at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yes.
Hobbit 1 at 1. The second Hobbit at 4.
Yep.
And the third Hobbit at 7 or 9 or something like that.
That's right. Oh boy, what a nice long day. Hashtag one last time.
So you remember how in Interstellar came out on IMAX 2 days before it hit theaters?
2 days early.
The Hobbit will be available on Monday.
2 days early.
2 days
before
early.
the Wednesday the 17th.
And tickets go on sale this Friday.
Yeah.
All right, and we got everybody's here. Battle of the Five Armies music by Howard Shore.
Oh yes.
Which that soundtrack is now available on iTunes and Amazon. In fact, the full song, "The Last Goodbye" song by Billy Boyd,
yes,
is
that
now
wonderful
available.
last song.
The full song is
And
available.
I don't see Guillermo del Toro on this billing block, do I?
You will see on the next one.
There he is.
Boom.
There is screenplay by Fran,
So he did
Philippa, Peter, and Guillermo del Toro.
Zane Weiner, Fran Walsh, Peter Jackson, based on the novel by J.R.R.
Do you know, I never considered it a novel, and I don't know why it's being called a novel.
So, and look, Water Tower Music, IMAX,
Yeah.
Wingnut Films.
Oh, look, Wingnut has their little logo there.
Wingnut.
And Water Tower Music is there.
Then what is 3'7"?
Well, 3'6" was the production company. 3'7" was the next production company. One for Lord of the Rings, one for Hobbit.
Okay.
Hello, Drew. We got Drew from Rhode Island. Thank you very much for joining us live on the show. You're watching
So
live. He
that-
says, I think the dwarves are watching Lake Town burn from on top of Ravenhill, which is to the side of Dale. And Ravenhill can be seen on Unexpected Journey while the dwarves are evacuating Erebor. Oh, he's right. You can see Ravenhill in the opening segment of An Unexpected Journey.
When Smaug destroys
When
Dale.
Smaug first destroys Dale, and the
Okay.
dwarves are evacuating Erebor. Good call. Very
Okay.
good call on that.
Very good. Well, I'm really
Wow.
excited. You know, what was your favorite frame of this trailer? There's
My
so
favorite
much-
frame of this whole trailer?
Yeah, which one just kind of...
The one with Saruman.
Saruman?
The one with Saruman really close up at the camera saying, "Leave Sauron to me." That is by far my favorite bit. And I wouldn't be a hardcore Tolkien fan if I wasn't over the moon.
This
with
is
this.
it. This is your favorite shot of the whole thing.
Well, it's my favorite single shot
That's your favorite frame.
My favorite frame? Yeah, my favorite frame is
Man,
Christopher Lee, yeah.
Elrond doing his thing. I tell you, my favorite frame, and I think the most important for the entire the mythology of Peter Jackson's films
is this one.
This is the most important because this is before they've been corrupted to the point where they're shadows of their former selves. They look a lot different.
No, they have been for a very long, long time. Only shadows. They've been only wraiths.
Yeah.
The fact that they're a lot more corporeal in this shot is because of I'm sure it's because of the presence of the three rings.
We just got a text message saying
rings.
It's interesting that Guillermo del Toro is credited for screenplay instead of just story.
Yes, good point.
So
very good point.
He probably, I bet you, this movie is what Guillermo del Toro envisioned for his new character Toriel.
Yes.
And some of the other things that he set up that Peter Jackson did. So
what is your favorite shot?
This is my favorite shot. This is the most important shot in the whole trailer. And I love that. I think this is Peter Jackson. This is a Palantir. You got Gandalf. You got Galadriel about to whoop some. You got the Nine. Why does everybody fear the Nine? Why does Aragorn say, "I know what hunts you"?
Mm-hmm.
Why does Gandalf always say, "Run"?
When Saruman reveals that the Nine crossed the river Isen just a little while ago, disguised as riders in black, and Gandalf gasps and says, "The Nine." In Tolkien's original books,
yes,
it's difficult enough for any living being to stand up against one of them. But when there's all of them together, they compound their fear. They magnify the effect.
They magnify the fear.
They magnify the effect of what they're bringing. Yeah,
that's the whole point of Sauron's power. It's not that he's had actual power over you. He just instills fear. That's the whole point of the Palantirs. It instills fear. That's why the steward of Gondor gives up, because Sauron through the Palantir has not just poisoned his mind, but instilled fear. And with the Nine here, you're instilling fear times 9.
Yeah.
And that's at the point where Galadriel starts speaking the black speech and almost gets caught up and becomes something that she doesn't want to be.
What?
Never mind, spoilers. So,
what spoilers?
Galadriel starts speaking black speech.
In this scene? Why would she? And where did you hear that from?
People have seen the movie. 150 people have seen the full movie already.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were all the fans who won that contest.
And
they
the
went down there to see it.
And the fans brought their friends.
Yes.
So who else has seen it? Who knows? But if you go to IMDb, you go to Russian message boards, we're always deleting a bunch of threads of spoilers on our own message boards.
Really?
There's information out. Be cautious over the next month.
You're right. I guess a lot of people have been spoiling stuff.
So this has been an amazing trailer. This we've been doing these trailer frame by frame analysis ever since the very first Peter Jackson video that was kind of behind the scenes for the first Lord of the Rings back in 2000. We've been doing this for 14 years. And this is just a wonderful piece.
It's an excellent overall marketing piece. I'll give it a very high A rating.
Yes.
Maybe not an A+, but I'll give it an A rating.
Yeah.
It would have gotten an A+ if they'd just shown the bloody dragon just once. But
you wanted to see the dragon.
Wait a minute. You didn't kill the damn thing last year so that you could take advantage of using it as a marketing tool.
And we still don't have any merch.
We still have no merchandise and no trailers with dragon. There's nothing. It's just so weird.
I know. We want the dragon.
But the suggestion from the hotline from one of our very adroit, observant fans, maybe the Nine defeated Gandalf in that scene, and maybe Gandalf does a good job of getting himself out of that cage, and then when he's up against the Nine, he takes another beating, and then maybe Galadriel arrives.
We'll
see about that.
Fans are just messaging us saying, "I never want this to end." I'm all in on extra movies, and I'm glad Peter Jackson decided to make a trilogy, and we're all going to love this. So thank you for watching.
Very good.
And if this is not our only trailer review, if you go to theonering.net, our entire staff has chimed in.
Even me, as Quick Bean.
There's 30 pages of screenshots with multiple perspectives.
30 pages of gorgeous high-res freeze frames, and all the staff senior staff and brand new staff
That's
from
right.
TheOneRing.net, offering a lot of their ideas and angles on this. This is an exciting bit.
You gonna have a dragon in your dragon movie?
Yeah, you're gonna have a dragon in your dragon movie. Hello, yeah, that's excellent, Madeline.
Oh, that Jurassic
This is
Park.
one last thought before we close the night.
Yes.
The armor and the look, the helmets, the armor, the pieces that the Nazgul are wearing
Yeah.
in that Dol Guldur shot, says here, reminds me of the Black Riders in the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings film. Yes, they do. Yes, indeed. I never noticed that before, but they look like what the ring wraiths would have looked like with all their various armor and helms and the helmets that they wear from the other kingdoms and other cultures that they originally came from as mortal men when they were alive. Fascinating observation. I love that.
So it looks like overall, it looks like Peter Jackson is pulling from inspiration, visual inspiration from all
Yeah.
parts of The Hobbit historically. He's pulling from, Jason and Argonaut, Ray Harryhausen's flying.
There's Ravenhill.
There's Ravenhill.
That's from An Unexpected Journey, yeah.
So he's pulling
Very good.
from Ralph Bakshi. He's pulling. There's a lot of designs in here that are influenced by
he's pulling from old Harryhausen stuff. And he's pulling from Bakshi. And not the least of which, he's pulling from The Wizard of Oz with the flying monkeys.
Yeah.
With the way the bats look.
Yeah. So
What if these bats have appendages that can grab
Hands.
things?
Well, their claws definitely.
What if they
do.
can grab people? Right
I'm
off the
sure they
battlefield.
do.
I'm excited to see this. You guys, it has been an exceptionally good show.
Yes.
We're so glad that we could redo this on the Wednesday version of Torn Tuesday. Thank you for joining us after all of our technical problems yesterday. It's wonderful. We will see you in maybe 5 or 6 days' time. Because,
That's right.
wait, before we let you go, there's a lot of stuff that's going on.
The tickets are going on sale.
Tickets are going on sale this Friday. That means day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Day after tomorrow, you can get
Hope
your.
you get paid.
You can get your. I got my paycheck coming in tonight at midnight. My direct deposit.
You gonna go see a trilogy, or are you gonna go wait until the IMAX?
No,
HFR?
I will enjoy the extended editions at home. I don't want to see a trilogy in the theater. And very exciting. Get your tickets. They go on sale in the United States and Canada in 2 days' time. This Friday.
They're on sale in many countries already.
Already, and be warned, there will be a Monday before the 17th. That would be December 15th, Monday. Major metropolitan areas are going to have the big theaters showing a big trilogy screening. It will be exciting.
I am excited for HFR. I think this is the movie that was meant to be in high frame rate.
I agree. Check it out. Check it out.
HFR 3D is where it's at.
Thank you to all of our familiar chatters,
Yes.
to the Sheepish Lion. Thank you to Helen, Madeline, and to Trevor from Alaska. Thank you, Matthew in Louisiana, our friends in Rhode Island, so many chatters from around the world, and especially Emily. Thank you for staying up late. And to all of our UK
Yes.
friends, you stayed up extra late into the middle of the night. Bless you. Thank you for being part of our show. Follow us online. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.
Excellent stuff, guys. Cheers.
How long are we supposed to hold this?
Hold as long as you can hold it.
Too many dwarves.
That's
Too many dwarves.
That's just a little joke, boys and girls.
I love Too Many Dwarves. I need to make that parody video of Too Many Cooks called Too Many Dwarves.
You're funny.